Hello, everybody. That is not full screen. That is absolutely not full screen. But check that beforehand. That's okay. No one's on here to give a shit at the moment, so send this to the back. Order. Send move to bottom. There we are. We're gonna have the chat up here. Actually, let me do that. This here. This here. I'll zoom out a little bit. All right. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit, but that's okay. Chat box. Yeah, we got the chat box here. There you go. Hey, everybody. It's going to be a nice casual one. I'm going to start going through some shorts out on YouTube. See what it's all about. First thing I want to do is I want to take the chat box. I want to copy that. I want to move that over into my Be Right Back. Hold on. There, that's all it took. It's done. All right. So why don't we get started? First one we're going to go through is a person I really like to watch. It's Sydney Watson. Let me be sure. Let me make sure everything is kosher on here. Yeah, everything is good. All right. So I like Sydney Watson. I think she's quite intelligent. She's from Australia, but doesn't sound Australian. I think she lives in the US now. Every once in a while, a little inflection in her voice comes out. It's not that big deal. It doesn't really matter. But it's nice that you kind of know, where people are. So when you hear that sound, you better understand it. You're not just like, what? And then your mind's now distracted by something that has nothing to do with anything. After we come Sydney, let's go over here to the wall. Let's see what the wall's all about. Let's deal with Sydney. Now, you can't see my cursor. Maybe I should turn my cursor on, but right now I really don't care. Okay, let's do it.
I'd say you won't believe this, but you will. It's just going to make you really mad. So recently, Minneapolis public schools promised it will fire or reassign white teachers first, just by virtue of being white, in the event of layoffs. Now,
very, very valid thing to want in a partner. What's not okay is...
Stop that. What the hell was that all about? Yeah. All right. So let's go back because that now is
firing
distracting.
People for the color of their skin is illegal, and that legality doesn't change based on the fact that the individual in question is white, despite what the media might tell you. But the psycho thing about this story is that the teachers union who has this policy has doubled down on it, saying that they are extremely proud of the policy.
This is when the far left has overdue influence on well, basically anything. The same as the far right. So now we have book banning in the United States. Now we have abortion. I mean, shit, it's the 50s and 60s. It's Jim Crow again. It's just in a slightly different way. It's all pretty much the same. Here, Minnesota, Minneapolis, whatever. The teachers union has said that they will fire whites first, or hire whites back first. It's did I get that wrong? No, go back. Where's my history? Yeah, it's too early. There you go.
I'd say you won't believe this, but you will. It's just going to make you really mad.
I'll try to pause it in between.
So recently, Minneapolis public schools promised it will fire or reassign white teachers first, just by virtue of being white, in the event of layoffs.
Yeah, that's absolutely unconstitutional. It's racism. I'm not pro-white, but I'm sure as hell not pro anything else either. So I'm a bit pro everybody, but everybody should be treated equal. I'm pro equality. I mean, when I mean pro equality, I mean to a fault. Like, even if it harms me, people need to be equal. Because at the end of the day, the rules we set up in society are the rules that we need to follow. If we don't like the rules, and there needs to be enough people either in power or enough people either through a quorum or a revote to remove those policies or change those policies. But while they're in place, they're the law, and we need to follow them. That's why we live in society. It's why we choose to remain in a society that where there are laws that we have to follow because it's supposedly for the common good. Now we can argue that on a whole different couple episodes on policy changes and who it actually benefits and who it doesn't. But right now, Minneapolis Teachers Union contract calls for layoffs of white teachers first. Unconstitutional, systemic racism. Here it is. If you are not white or Caucasian and you support this, you might as well, and I mean this wholeheartedly, you might as well go join the KKK. You're pretty much thinking the same thing they do. You're thinking exactly the same thing they do.
Now, obviously, firing people for the color of their skin is illegal, and that legality doesn't change based on the fact that the individual in question is white, despite what the media might tell you. But the psycho thing about this story is that the teachers union who has this policy has doubled down on it, saying that they are extremely proud of the policy. Guys, the fact that this is socially acceptable is so unbelievably disgusting to me. The fact that this is being normalized, applauded, that it's viewed as fighting racism is insanity. And I just wish that more people would stand up and say, nope, we are not having this, because this is not helpful.
Sydney is correct that being racist, to fight racism, is like using poison to attack another poison. It's like introducing a species into an environment, Hawaii, Australia, a lot of other damn places, Florida, that to fight another invasive species. It doesn't help because one's going to win out and the one that wins is going to stay. And it's there. This says it's okay to be racist because we are supporting the minority that has had racist acts upon them historically, right? And they're not wrong that has happened, but where she might be wrong is it actually is, truthfully, be honest, it is helpful towards the minority, the ones that this is supposed to benefit. It absolutely helps them because it gives them opportunities that they might not have had because of the systemic racism that's already in the system. I'll give you an example. Well, not a real example, but let me explain a little bit further. So Minneapolis, Minnesota, or just Minnesota, just anything in the big heart of America, that's white people land. Now there's a lot of different races there, but the minorities percentages go down as you go towards the center of America, and as you go out towards the coast and the larger cities, the minority populations start going up. You see that in England, you see that probably pretty much anywhere. So in Minnesota, you have a lot of white people getting jobs, and a lot of minorities are going to have to fight for those jobs, and they might not get them just because they don't look like everyone else. They are a small percentage, so they don't look like the majority of people, and they might not get jobs because of that. Chances are they probably aren't getting a lot of jobs that they could have very well qualified for because they're different. Because they're not the same. They don't look the same. They don't act the same. They don't talk the same. They're not from the same place. They're not the Joneses. But does it benefit them for this kind of action to take place? Absolutely does. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. But it does benefit them. So what Sydney is proposing is correct. But what that part at the very end she said isn't necessarily correct. Does it help us as a whole? It very well could. I mean, if you look in the 80s, I think it was the 80s in the UK, they had some voting. Now, this is what I read like once a long time ago. So I'm totally ad-libbing here, and I could be slightly off in the details, but I think the overall arching subject is similar, or I'm pretty accurate. In the 80s, they forced voters to vote for women candidates in office and government offices, and it worked. There's now a lot more women than there used to be. Now, there might have been like a slowing, and then that's how life is. Life is a sine wave. Look it up. Life is a sine wave. It's ups and downs and changes and back and forth. It's like the rubber band effect. Blah blah blah. I'll go into that later at some other point in the future. But women got into government, and there's far more women in government, and they can arguably connect the women in government now back to those days where they forced voters to vote for mainly women. Now, I would love it in the comments. If I'm wrong, or maybe there's some more details that need to be defined there, don't just come out and blaze me. I'm trying to be honest and genuine. I'll look this up at the end, and I might even put in the comments that, hey, I was wrong here. Here's where it really is. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so it does benefit. All right, got enough about that. Let's continue.
To anybody. I'd say you won't believe this, but you will. It's just going to make you really mad. So recently, Minneapolis...
Oh, I already did that. All right. So there's that. Love Sydney. Subscribe. Go to her, Sydney Watson. Let me go. There you go. Sydney Watson. Go to her. She's amazing. She's highly intelligent. She talks about a lot of different things, everything from video games to obesity to she's got a broad range of subjects, and she's amazing. She's good content to watch. As far as I'm concerned, she is. And sometimes she's straightforward. Like, I don't 100% agree with her. I'll be honest, about 95, 98% of the time. But every once in a while she throws some out there and says, no, I think you kind of got that wrong. But that's my opinion. She's got hers. But because she's so consistent and believing the way I believe, of course they get passes. They get passes for every once in a while. I mean, just because someone likes the Republicans doesn't mean I'm going to hate them. And there's one part of them that they suck at, but it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just might be that, we disagree strongly on stuff. All right, so let's go to the wall. Let's see if the wall's back in here. All right, I missed it. Oh, it's not there. Let's get why men's. Oh, here you go. Yeah, here's a good one. Well, no, I watched that. Oh, it doesn't. That's just a red desk. Yeah, I have not watched any of these videos. That's what I'm making a point, is to just kind of spontaneously, hey, what's going on this morning? Let's watch this. Come with me to shave my head and just deconstruct internalized patriarchy. Okay.
This is the typical woman with nothing better to do, always trying to get attention. A single woman that no one pays attention to anymore. Instead of setting an example for younger women, she joins a radical and
It's an extreme thing. I think we're all kind of, at this point now, January 2025, we're all a little bit fed up with the extreme on both sides. Currently, the right-wing extreme won. It won the White House, got Senate, whatever. Either way, they've won. And I think we're all just fed up with it. Right now, the winners are eating the cake, and the losers are, eating crow. What this is, it's a reaction. It is not an action. It looks like she's taking action. She's not. She's reacting to something that at the moment, currently, she strongly believes in and is reacting against. This subject is patriarchy. But how's it helping shaving her head? Now, solidarity for all the other women that have shaved heads? Because as far as I'm concerned, she looks like exactly like what I did when I went through basic training. It's not a G.I. Jane look. It's a GI look. And I don't see where it helps. I mean, what is she trying to do? I mean, let's be honest here. And this is me not being disrespectful. Is she trying to look like a lesbian? Is she trying to look like what? Now, me being ignorant on if there's a movement here where women shave their heads for a reason, I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it. But it's interesting because then she flips you off. She gives two birds to patriarchy. Well, I don't think anybody really likes patriarchy as a general subject. I mean, we know what it is. I mean, purely it's just this form of government or control where it's male dominated. No, we get that. But no one nowadays, I think, unless you're a trad wife, I don't really think you like patriarchy. I'm not necessarily for patriarchy. I'm not necessarily for whatever the female version of it is. I forgot. I get it, but why is she protesting? It's an example for young women. She joins a radical anti-men
movement just to draw attention.
This is him talking.
But look at the woman in the next video. This is a woman who truly teaches. She shows that being married isn't as bad as they try to make it seem, that having a man who loves you makes you look great. Just tell me, who looks happier?
This isn't about happiness. It's about contentment. And the woman that shaved her head isn't content. Might look like she's happy. She's not happy. She's going against patriarchy as for how she is projecting herself going against patriarchy. That doesn't make her happy. Might not even make her content. Right now, she's in a transition. She's in a anger phase, a retaliatory phase. And I don't think there's any happiness or contentment found in that. I think there's purpose. I think there's movement. I don't necessarily think it's a happiness or a content thing. In fact, if anything, there's more sadness and anger and hate and vitriol than there would be anything else. And this woman over here, something about this 4B movement makes me want to have another baby. Okay, she's in retaliatory phase 2. She's going against the 4B movement. And I think I discussed that on my first video. And of course, the wall is eating this up. It's all just opinion. You see what it is. This is just a ping pong match of opinion. And so the wall is loving this woman because why? Because, well, let's be honest. Let's analyze just this one photo. She's a liar. She's fake as hell. And I'm very strong on this. Makeup is lying. This woman, we don't even know what she looks like. I don't even know what this woman looks like. And I'll be dead serious. I don't. I'm very adamant about that. Whereas lipstick, eyeliner, mascara, touches up her eyebrows, a whole bunch of makeup, highlights. Probably, if you do have natural hair, it's probably that. And possible extensions. It kind of does look like extensions, doesn't it? It might not be, but it kind of does look like there's some extensions in there. It just does. And now she's hairspraying herself up. She's got the nails. Nothing about this woman is true that we can see so far. But we don't even know if her statement is. She's just retaliating. And the wall is eating that up. See, the wall, like many of these other Andrew Tate following things, very much enjoy the fakery, very much enjoy the artificialness, very much enjoy the things that aren't really true. Just like the lady shaving her head. Shaving your head has nothing to do with being against patriarchy. What does it even mean to be against the patriarchy? Does it mean being against men? Does it mean against men ruling? What does it mean? Is it a retaliation because women don't rule? Is it because there are not enough women in power to provide influence to support women's needs, women's rights, and just make an all-around equal government? Don't know, but just this part where this woman is retaliating for B by trying to be more feminine, and another woman is retaliating against patriarchy by being more masculine. I don't get it. There's no movement here, not on their part. I mean, they might think they have a trajectory, but they don't. It's literally going nowhere. It is a personal statement that if anything, if it was to gather attention by people and was to be influential towards young people or old people, or whatever, it's going to move in the wrong direction. It's going to tell them, this is how you behave. This is how you act. Instead of taking real action, instead of, really doing quality movement, you're just shaving your head and hairspraying your hair. There you go. Yeah. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Go back to another one. I like Sydney, but let's see if I can find something else. Is there more? How do I get more? I want more. I want more shorts. Oh, let's go to shorts. No, can't go to shorts. Oh, shorts. No. What is that? Miss Pepsi Challenge. Messy. Oh, I don't care about Messy. I'm told. Nope.
Wait.
Dude, that's center too.
Oh, did that go in?
It hit the camera, but it's good.
Oh, that was.
When this cop pulled these bikers over, they never.
Nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. No, let's go back to the home. I need to find stuff that I dig with. Harsh truth of why men are walking. Oh, I missed that. Why do guys not want relationships?
Why would they
anymore?
want one? What's the number one thing that motivates guys in relationships? We're all thinking the same thing, and they can get that whenever they want, with no commitment nowadays. They can meet that need, live on their own, make their own decisions, and do what else they want to do. We've devalued sharing our lives and decisions. We look at it as more of a chore now, and most relationships survive on the feeling of love until that wears out because it's temporary, and then they have to really love someone, and that requires work.
There's a lot here so far. If you notice that the first woman you saw, all in blue and stuff, she's very young, and this gentleman's very young too. But I'd say no more than 30. I'd say around their 20s. Modern feminist movement, and I'm not blaming. This is just my opinion. That's what I think. The modern feminist movement has emboldened women to take action, to be more to be more assertive in their rights and their needs and what they want and what they don't. And it's great. It's great. But you have, this is where I'll bring in the rubber band effect. When you stretch a rubber band really tight, it becomes strained. Everything about that rubber band, even the air around it, just you know that there's going to be a reaction. It gets really tight and it's tension. It wants to pull back. You're really putting a lot of energy. A lot of energy is being stored into that rubber band. When you release it, it's going to have an effect. That energy is going to release and it's going to shrink back down to near normal size. And then it's going to bounce back. And then you're going to have this effect, this reverberation effect, until it basically settles. Right now, we're in a reverberation effect. We're not in that tension, that tight thing that happened in the 80s and 90s, that slow movement of female equality and the feminist movement. It just really started. I mean, the feminist movement has been around since suffragettes and probably even before that. But I mean, suffragettes really took it to a degree, but it's slowly over time, still gathering speed. So now, Black Lives Matter, the race riots back in the 60s, all this stuff led to what we have now. What we have now are the minorities and those that have suffered what's considered the common or the typical or the normal patriarchy are now fighting back. And so you got this rubber band, the feminist movement, rubber band, really tight. Just over the past couple of years, it's released. And the feminists are now starting to see certain things, certain aspects of relationships and male behavior taking off. The reason why is because of that. It's bounced back. They're retaliating. They're saying, whoa, you went too far. Now, and women are like, what do you mean I went too far? I can do whatever I want. Sure as hell you can do whatever you want. And this, as far as I'm concerned, is a repercussion of that. Men are saying now this is young men. This isn't me in my early 50s or someone in their 40s or even their late 30s or someone that's been married for 20 years and they're only about 42, 43. And they've been married since they were like 20 or 18 or 19 or whatever. And they've stuck it through. This isn't humanity talking. This isn't men talking. This isn't women talking. It's this subgroup of society talking. These young people and some older people obviously are in on this, but anywhere between the ages of 18 to 40, 45, whatever. They're seeing this. And they're eating it up. And the younger generation, the under 30s, are really some of them are really eating it up. But if you look at most of these videos, it's mostly very young people that are adults, but not grown up. They're retaliating because they don't know enough about the world, about experience. They don't have enough experiences in their toolbox to be able to truly understand what's going on here. It's not just like, why can't I find a good man? Why are they always just by themselves and playing video games and being with their buddies? Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's not fucking amazing. But why? Why does it sound amazing? Because I've had women in my whole life. Since I was 18, for the past, 33 years, I've had women in my life. And there's a lot of ups, but there's a lot of freaking downs. And sometimes I just don't want to deal with that anymore. So it's nice, like doing this. I'm doing my man podcasts and I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing, this on Twitch and I'm doing Population Uno on Twitch because I have to have my things. And I don't want anybody telling me not to. So women, you want to be free, you want to be equal, you want to have all your stuff. Good. Men are saying, look, if you want this, you're telling me I've got to be a certain way. But what does that mean? I mean, you're redefining yourself as a woman, saying, I am strong, I am this, I am equal, fine. But what do you think you expect from us men? Do you expect us to start acting like you? You expect us to start doing what? You might complain that we don't do laundry. You might complain that we don't mow the lawn on time or we don't take out the trash or we're just sitting around playing video games or whatever like that. Well, what men want to do? Let them do it. Women like to do their things. Men like to do their things. The problem lies in true communication, where women are gaining this access, gaining this power. And in many cases, as I think what this guy is probably referring to, but maybe he doesn't even know he's referring to it, is I see modern feminism as the rise of females on the mountain of men's bones. Modern feminism, in many, many cases, probably I'd say in most cases versus not, it takes the role of being the aggressor. I don't mean in a good way. What it does is it says, I want to build up women, and I will do that by bringing men down, showing not only the faults, but how men are less than us, are demonized. We're demonizing men, and it happens a lot. And you can see it just in regular TV commercials. Look at a TV commercial where you got men and women in a dynamic. And watch how many times the man looks like an idiot. The man is made to look like a dunce, like a dullard, a stupid person. and the woman's there to save them, or the woman. This has been going on since the early 2000s and probably the late 1990s. I'm not joking. I remember with my ex-wife, we sat down and we talked. We're watching I think it was a Samsung washing machine commercial. It was in Britain. It was in the UK. A Samsung washing machine commercial. And this guy, the whole commercial just made this dad look like a dumbass. Hi, Anime 2077. Or Soul Name and decided to speak out about the searches. No. I think you're getting me wrong here. I know you came in, but I just want you to take a second and listen, because I know when you just jumped in, and I am not pro man Andrew Tate. That guy is an absolute dickhead, and I promise you, I'm not that. The reason why I have this is because I want people to see like both sides as they really are, and not just stay on side A or just on side B. It's hard, especially for me. It took a long time for me to try to understand certain things, at least for myself. I'm not, not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'm just on this part of it. But believe me, this guy here, he's wrong. He's not correct in certain parts of it. He might be correct in other parts of it. Like, men don't want to always feel like they're the bad guys. Or they're creeps, or they're pervs, or they're this and that, because most men aren't. So he's trying to blanket statement stuff. And yes, every once in a while I'll come out with a blanket statement stuff, but I don't mean it like that. So just bear with me on this. So you said, yes, let's retaliate because women are so lame. Absolutely not. I grew up with just a mom and a grandma. I got my partner here, and she's got a 13-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. I love them to bits. I absolutely respect them. Just bear with me, and decide to speak out about the centuries of being used and treated as lesser than. You're absolutely right. And so much of history is about women being not the ones with power or with voice, and not the ones with any type of control over their future, their destinies. I mean, there's always examples here and there where they do, but for the most part, you're absolutely right. And the reason why is, I think it's very, very basic, and that is men are stronger physically. So they're just like, I got the bigger club and I can use it better than you. So you're just going to listen to what I say because I can beat you up. I completely agree. 100% agree on that. Oh, good. You're still in. Good. Okay. So I would just focus on this right now, that there is a whiplash effect where in any movement, where people in a movement, let's say the feminist movement, they push so far, they're going to get kicked back. At first, there's a little bit of, leave them alone. They're not doing anything. And, well, they got a little few followers, but they're not really effective, all the way to the point where it comes to modern times. Like, not only they're very effective, but they're kind of leading the charge on a lot of other movements. And in doing so, there's a lot of, when a wave picks up speed, like a tsunami, we see that a lot in the news over the past 10 years. When a tsunami picks up speed, just keeps getting stronger and stronger, like a hurricane or a tornado. Well, then it starts damaging, starts destroying stuff. There's no really control over it. With feminism, there is a bit of control in certain aspects, in certain branches of feminism. But in a lot of the militant part, which is what a lot of people are reacting to, they're saying, no, not a creep just because I'm a man. And no, video games isn't a bad thing. And no, sometimes I just want to do what I want to do. So that's where this part of the video I'm saying is, he's promoting why men don't date, why men don't want to be with women. Well, that's very young men dealing with a whole lot of young people stuff. And I get that, but nobody my age is like that. I don't see anybody my age going and playing video games all day long, or they're responsible. They're doing responsible things, both men and women. And we don't talk those conversations. Anybody over the age of 30/35, 40 aren't going to have these kind of conversations. So what I'm trying to do is bring in a more, an older view, aspect, opinion about this kind of behavior. And I don't think he's correct. I think he might think he's correct because he has friends that are like that, or he sees that in the movement or what's trending on TikTok or whatever. But for the most part, absolutely isn't that way. And so let's continue.
Effort. They don't want to do that anymore. Why would they want one? What's the number one thing that motivates guys in relationships? We're all thinking the same thing, and they can get that whenever they want, with no commitment nowadays.
So he's thinking sex is the only reason why they want to commit. Why? They can get that wherever they want. So why would they have a relationship? Sex and emotion, sex and relationships, they're not the same thing. Young men are very driven by sex, but it isn't the overriding thing. There's a bunch of chads out there, a bunch of pimps that think that, look, all I need is some play. And I really don't care about the woman, just because I know that there's other women that are going to be out there throwing it at me. So I can go home and have my cake and then I can eat it too. Well, that's just young people acting like that don't have value yet. The most valuable thing to them, what this man's talking about, the men that are doing this, the young men, the young adults are doing, not the grown-ups, but the young adults are doing this. That's what their focus is on. All right. Let them. I mean that. Whether it's a woman or a man, a woman wants to go out there and play, let her. I'm not into trad wives, or I like a woman that's independent, wants me, but doesn't need me. That's what I look forward to. A lot of young men just like to play. I mean, let's be honest. If I was 18, 19, 20, and they say, hey, you can go out there and you can go to the club and you can have your fun. Take a woman home every once in a while, but you don't have to worry about all the drama relationship. I don't know what I would say. It sounds enticing, but also I knew that I was a relationship type of person. I wanted to be in a relationship. I didn't want to just play the field. I never did. Even when I had opportunities, I never did. I was in the military a lot. There's a lot of crazy stuff that becomes available to a military man that's overseas. I never took part in it. I was pretty much an agnostic or an atheist most of my military career. And anytime we went somewhere like Thailand, Philippines, places like that, Japan, I hung around the church people. I'm not joking. Full on atheists. They knew who I was because they were part of my group. I hung around the church people. I ain't mess with that. That's for other people. That's other people's business. I just never was into what I honestly consider degrading women. I don't see a purpose in that. I can get that at home, with my spouse, or I can find a girl. I remember when I was in Denver, I delivered pizzas for a few years. And every once in a while, the manager of the pizza place wanted to go to a strip club. It's a famous strip club, Shotgun Willie's. I think a lot of people have heard of it. And I begrudgingly went. Now, the first time I was like, oh, never been to one of those. That'd be kind of interesting. I kind of know what I'm getting to. But I went, and I swear to God, I walked right through the door. I saw 100 men sitting around there looking at naked women, and I just wanted to walk right back out. I was like, I just want to leave. But I did it. I went through the experience, because it was an experience, wasn't it? So I wanted to experience it. And after that, I was like, I don't ever want to do it. I even told my wife, and she knew I was going. I told her before. Look, the guy wants to, manager, Bill, Bob, whatever, he wants to go to this. And do you mind? And she's like, I don't. And I said, look, I don't want to go. I'd be quite honest with you, but I like the manager. He's a good guy. She knew him. He's a good guy. That's his proclivity. Every once in a while, I like to do it. His wife let him, whatever. And I went, and I came back to my wife. Don't ever worry about that again. Never worry about that again. That is something I will just tell him flat out no. I said, I had to spend $15 just to get in the door, $10, whatever. And I didn't even want to be there. The beer was overpriced. You had to money, tuck, So no, absolutely not. So yeah, this gentleman here, no commitment nowadays. Right? There's some men that are like that don't want the hassle. But there are a lot of women that are like that too. Like I'm not ready for relationships. See, women and men might put it differently. They're like, no, I just want to do this. I'm going to go out and have fun. I want to do this. Women just put it differently. They're like, no, I just want to live my own life at the moment. I don't want to be in a relationship. And women are applauded for that. But at this point, men aren't, because it's considered to be a more devious act when a man does it versus when a woman does it. When a woman does it, it's a conscious, understood, self-empowering effort to find herself and to center and to become stronger. For a man, it's men just nasty. So, there's that. I don't think that opinion's wrong either. Men do some nasty stuff.
They can meet that need, live on their own, make their own decisions, and do what else they want to do. We've devalued sharing our lives and decisions. We look at it as more of a chore now. And most relationships survive on the feeling of love until that wears out, because it's temporary, and then they have to really love someone.
And he brings up a good point. A lot of people go into relationships because they have that initial feel, that honeymoon phase, where everything's strong and right in front of your face, and it's every part of your body is loving it. Man or woman, every part of your body's loving it. And then after a while, things settle down, and those feelings don't go away, but they are not as strong and powerful as they were. And we have to deal with that. And that's where maturity comes in. That's where grown-upism comes in. And can we handle the fact that it's going to be a normal life now? You now have a roommate that you love. before where you had just her or you just had him and everything was exciting and everybody smiled and the man did everything for you. Now all of a sudden, you're not opening doors as much. Or she's not willing to put up with your snoring as much. It happens. And what he is saying is, for a while, men are just kind of like, no, we're not even going to play that game. And
And that requires work, effort. And they don't want to do that anymore.
rightly so. That's his opinion about. I guess I'm by myself again. All right, let's go to another one. What are we? 36 minutes in. Good. We got another one. Fat positivity is regeneration. I got a thing on that. Shorts. I'm not giving him any airtime. Sorry, he gets no airtime in my at all. What was that? Is that a monkey? Oh, it's a monkey. I wish I could see that. All right, let's go into this is my line in the sand. See what Cindy has to say.
So we all have those line in the sand moments, and I absolutely had one of those today. There is an individual who is currently under fire for doing some illegal, shady stuff, who coincidentally...
Lifting dissonance. What up? Jesus is queen. Is that what does that even mean? I love it. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at you, but I'm laughing with you because it's funny. Jesus, I'd never heard that before. Yeah, you paused it. You paused me. I was like, what up? It's like, hey, what? Did you put Jesus Queen? I was like, all right. That's good. All right, let's go back to Sydney. I totally lost my train of thought. Okay. Currently under fire for doing some illegal, shady stuff. I don't know who this is. You totally lost me lifting.
Identifies as a woman and tweeted this earlier. The only inherent difference between trans women and cis women is that trans women were assigned male by a doctor. This needs to stop.
Before she gets on about that, let me give you my opinion so you can understand my opinion versus hers and that I'm not influenced by her opinion because I've never watched this video before. I have a few opinions and a few theories when it comes to trans. I don't care. As long as they're like everyone else and being as far as normal and not acting up and not being militant and not being jerks. I don't care what you were born and what you are now, what you're identifying as now. I don't care. As far as the difference between a trans woman and a cis woman is that a trans woman was assigned male at birth. That's not correct. A male, bear with me on this. Bear with me. So don't get all evil and shit on me yet. Male has a penis. A female has a vagina. That's a sex. A man is a gender that's assigned by a society. Say a man is this. A man chops wood. A man mows the lawn. A man goes get a job. A man wears a tie. A man pees standing up. A man plays Santa Claus at Christmas time. A woman, by modern genders or modern society around the world, is a woman cooks, a woman cleans, a woman gives birth, a woman takes care and rears the kids. That's the difference between a male and a female and a man and a woman. Now, when she had a little pop-up up, it said that person isn't assigned male at birth. That's not an assignment. You are a male or you are a female now. Is there something in between? Yes, there are proven facts that there are people that aren't technically male or female. Either they have chromosomes of both or of neither one. There's some mutations. I call them mutations in a very polite way. I don't mean to be disrespectful. In a very polite way, there's mutations. There's differences out there, but the vast majority. We're talking majority to the point where we don't even almost have to even discuss the rest of them. I think it's called. I looked it up just the other day. Something gender. I can't remember what it is where you're not a male or female gender. But it makes up like 0.65%, something like that. And if you count in trans and you count in everyone else, it's like 6.5%. Counting gays, trans, and this gender class that's not male or female. They make up like 6.5% of the population, which when you clump it all together is an extreme minority. It isn't a lot. I mean, out of 250 million, let's just talk the US, or 275 million people, 6.5% is a lot of people. But as far as society goes, it's an extreme minority. It's less than the number of blacks and the Mexicans, Asians that we have. So it's a thing. And so let's hear what Sydney has to say. But yeah, you're not assigned male or female at birth. A doctor, man or female, man or woman, whatever. They look at you and say, got a willy, the male. That's it. Doesn't call it a man, male. All right, let's see what she has to say.
This narrative needs to stop. It needs to stop from trans activists. It needs to stop from the medical industry. It needs to stop in general, because the reality is that you are not assigned a sex at birth. It doesn't work that way. And men and women are biologically and functionally different. I know that you all know this. And honestly, guys, realistically, yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I'm thinking that the reason that men are assigned male at birth and not female is on account of their dick. You get the idea. So we all have...
That's why I love her. You guys have to go watch Sydney. She's hilarious. She's so funny. She's absolutely hilarious. And she's intelligent. She talks about gaming, about fat acceptance or not acceptance. Trans. She talks about whatever's in the media. She was talking about Star Wars. She's very much a Star Wars fan. I think she was a bit of she's like Comic-Con. I know she dressed up on certain videos, but not like full on, 3D printing kind of stuff. But she's funny. You guys need to go watch her. Seriously, go watch her. You still there lifting? You doing other things? Oh, no. Lifting left. But I had 2 people come in that weren't in before. I'm very much appreciative of it. Thank you very much. What else we got? Oh. Okay, this is our last one. We're going on 43 minutes now. So this is our last one. Again, the wall. I want more shorts. You notice, because I'm doing my Mandemikc episode, I've got all of these over here, the people that I'm subscribe to it, so it's easier for me to find their videos. I don't necessarily, well, most of them I don't agree with, but it's easy for me to find their content, so then I can discuss it and hopefully break it down and tear it apart. Hopefully. All right, so let's go into settings. So yeah, don't look at this as who I am. Like Anime 2077, a nice person, came right in when I was talking about how I didn't necessarily agree with part of the feminist movement, and it said yes. No, you can read it on that thing. It says I'm 100% wrong. Well, came in at the wrong time, or he or whoever came in at the wrong time. Too bad, because then it takes time to get to know someone, to form an opinion about them. That's not right. It takes no time to form an opinion about someone, and that's not correct. Everyone needs to show some self-control and not start forming opinion about people just because of an initial thing they said. You really take some time to really get to know a person. All right, go to the next one.
This is honestly too good not to share. You know how we all joke that people who swing to the left have lower testosterone and are soy boys? Well, a researcher went to the effort of finding that out and proved it, and also proved that these individuals who are on the left benefit from being given testosterone. I thought this was initially a joke, and then I looked at the study. It concluded that the results demonstrate that testosterone induces a red shift among weakly affiliated Democrats. Before the testosterone treatment, we found that weakly affiliated Democrats had 19% higher basal testosterone than those who identified strongly with the party. So, in short, higher testosterone does mean that you're less likely to be a leftist, but it also means that, you should probably stop drinking soy, start eating red meat, get your butts in the gym, because, our country is kind of depending on you. This is...
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I know the right would pick that up and absolutely love it. But the left also has studies that say that the right are more ignorant. Is that true or not? The right are less educated. The right aren't as capable of dealing with complex subjects. The right. What's about it? There's one more thing they said about. Oh, they're more likely to be gullible towards fantasy, such as religion and superstition. Is that correct? Just because I say it doesn't mean it's real. So, let me move that over just a touch. There it is. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So but obviously Sydney's like, this is BS. I mean, it looks to me like she just, if you know Sydney, she's like, study, a single study. Yeah. Now, left and right wing isn't just an American thing or a British thing or Canadian thing. It's all over the world. Far left, more towards humanistic humans and individuals' rights, versus the far right or movements that are pro the big guy, the rich person, the businesses, because the businesses keep the little people alive, which is such a backwards way. As the businesses don't keep the people alive, the people keep the businesses alive, which then in turn provides them money for their time and their effort. It's a contractual basis. I provide you my services, you provide me whatever monetary or objects I need that I can pay for things that keep me alive and entertained. So there's a lot of silliness on both sides. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't necessarily want. Lack of testosterone makes you give a shit more about people. Don't know if that's true. Then maybe I don't need all my testosterone. But I am going in next week because I'm over 50 and I haven't had a full-on workup. My system, my biology. So I'm going to go see how my testosterone is doing, and everything else. True, just because you got to prostates, all that other stuff. All right, listen. Thank you guys very much. I truly appreciate two people that came on, Lifting Dissonance and Anime 2077. Thank you very much for coming online. You can also find me at go to YouTube for Mandemikc. It's a picture of a bear, a real bear, not my little drawing I've got down there. Where's I got it? Right there. And check out my other stream where I just do gaming and fun stuff like that. Population Uno, both on Twitch as well as on YouTube. All right. Thank you all very much. And I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow, if not later this evening. I might be doing some World of Warcraft. If you go to Population Uno, I was doing Zombiercer. So I'm going to keep the episodes out there and I'll let them on Twitch just die out. But they'll stay on YouTube. And if you guys want it, comment in it, do some likes, whatever gets the most likes, gets me on it. Just because, I played it before. It's not like I'm somebody's little slave child and I should do whatever you want me to, but I'm influenced by it. All right. Thanks, guys. And you guys have a great day. See you very shortly.